This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, guys, so we have discussed prices and line discount another day, correct? So we'll discuss the multi-line discount today. Before going to multi-line, let me check the items. Okay, so we have these many items. I mean, only two items we have created. We'll just create few more items. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just create this item as a template and apply these same setups to other items also. Okay. So I'm just creating this item as a template, guys, and then we'll create the same setups and all other items. So you can even see that also, like how to use the templates and all. So now I'll create new. Let's say I will give a name called Apple AirPods, or let's say AirPods. Okay, I'm creating Apple AirPods item. I'll apply a template so that all the setups will be automatically applied. See, weighted average, item model group, storage dimension, tracking dimension, all other will be automatically applied. Just click OK. I'll create one more item. Apply phone cable. For example, I'm creating a cable item also. Then we'll apply the template. Yeah. Over there.
Hi Vignesh.
And we just started. Okay. I'm just creating few more items before getting
Yeah,
into the
yeah,
multi code.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right. So I have created three items, guys. Apple items, for example. So I'm going to configure the multi-line discount for these items. Okay, so multi-line discount always works based on the group of items. Okay, so if I want to group these items, I have to create something called multi-line discount group. Okay, in the procurement and sourcing module, price and discounts, price and discount groups, item discount groups. I have to create a group and assign this group to all these three items. Okay, I'll just keep this tab as it is. I'll duplicate the tab. So procurement sourcing item discount group. So I'll click new. Okay, so this is basically I'm creating a group under line discount group. I don't want to create a group under line discount. I'll create under multi-line discount. So just select that first, then click. Let's say what I'll do is Apple items, Apple brand items. Lenovo, HP, Sony, JBL. So I'm just maintaining the brand wise groups to group all the brands together for the discounts. Okay, so close it. Now I'm going to assign the same group into these items. For all these my items, I'm going to assign the group so that all these items comes under my Apple group. Okay, so first I'll assign this item. So under the purchase tab, we have something called multi-line discount. So under this, you can find out the groups that I have created now. So Apple item. So rather than closing and opening the form, I can directly click on this show list or hide list. So go to next item. Then I'll go to next item. This. Okay. Fine. I'm going to create a vendor also, guys. Accounts payable, vendors, all vendors. We are not creating Apple, so we'll create a vendor called Apple vendor. New. So Apple Incorporation. This is Apple name. Let's say this is stock vendors. So let's say this is USD. Payment terms, let's say 2 months. Method of payment, let's say bank transfer. Yeah, that's it. We'll save it. So I have created an Apple vendor also, right? So now I'll go and configure the multi-line discounts. Okay, fine. To configure the multi-line discounts, procurement and sourcing, price and discounts, trade agreement journal. So create the journal, purchase discounts. You can change the discount type also, like multi-line discount here. Okay, so multi-line discount purchase, it is automatically defaulted. Now I'll select party code, table for example, and it's for vendor Apple. Okay, If I select the table item, now my system throws an error. See, it says illegal specification. So thing is, system will not allow a table item, a single item for multi-line discounts. It always works on group or all. Okay, so table will not work basically whenever you use multi-line discounts. So it will be group. For example, for a group of items, which means my all Apple items. So Apple group I already assigned to these three items. Now I'm assigning and I'm configuring a discount for a group. So wherever this group is assigned in the items, it will apply for all those items. Okay, guys, this is clear.
Yes, Vignesh.
Yes,
Yes, Vignesh. Yes, Vignesh. Clear.
Okay, so then I'm configuring the percentage. Okay, so I'll configure the quantity range also so that you'll understand. See, quantity range is not mandatory. If you have such kind of scenario, you can configure it. Okay, otherwise it will apply, the discount will apply for all the range basically. Fine. So what I'll do is 1 to 100 USD, let's say 2% discount I'll get. So it's 100 means we need to give always one extra. Something went wrong. One extra line got created. Let me close it, guys. So I'll copy the line rather than entering all the information. I'll copy the line. So line is created from 101 to, let's say, 500. I'll get 5% discount. Okay. Then again copy journal. Five not 1 to some quantity, big quantity. Okay, this will be 501. This will be, let's say, 10% discount. So 1 to 100, 2%. 101 to 500 is 5%. More than 500 is, let's say, 10%. So I'm going to configure this percentage, guys. So post it. Okay, price are posted. Okay, for all these items, I need to add the Apple vendor also as approved vendor, guys. Let me add under the purchase tab. Either I need to add the approved vendor or I need to say it is a no check. If I say not allowed, I need to add approved vendor. Okay, otherwise it will not allow other vendors. Fine. So now let me create the purchase order, guys. Accounts payable, purchase orders, all purchase orders. Select the vendor, which is my Apple. So select the warehouse, which is my GCB. Purchase type, purchase order. You can even default this purchase order always. No need to change each and every time, that we will discuss later. So currency, let's say USD. So prices, if you remember, I have not configured the prices for Apple vendor, guys. Apple vendor is a newly created vendor, so prices will come 0 only. We'll manually enter the prices. Okay. So item added. Unit price, let's say this is what, which item it is. 12 Pro Max. Okay. Let's say 1200, or let's say it's 1300 USD. Okay. So no multi-line discount. So basically, if you want to add the multi-line discount, it will not automatically calculate. You have something called calculation here. So under the purchase tab at the top, you need to click on under the calculate. Under the here in the under the calculate, you need to click on multi-line discount. See, your multi-line discount got calculated. Okay, I'm going to add second item. Let's say this is $300. I'll add third item. Let's say how much it is, $25, for example. Sorry, I'm putting in the quantity. $25. Okay, so if you see the multi-line discount, not calculated yet because I have to click on calculation. See, it is calculated now for all of them. So quantity range is basically 1 to 100. So all these total of these three quantity 111 also is falling under 1 to 100 range only. That's why it is taking the basic percentage, which is 2%. So let's say this one I'll keep it 50. Okay, this one I'll say 60. Okay, it is crossing more than 100. So which should fall under next level of discount, next range of discount, correct? Which will be 5%. It should calculate. Third line I'm just keeping as one only, but as per my earlier discussion, if it basically works based on the combination of items, the total of combination of items, correct? So the 5% will apply for all these three items. Even the third item is having one quantity, still all of them will together total it and then check the discount percentage. Okay, now I'm going to click on calculate. Type in. Oh, it is grayed out. Something is going wrong. I need to ask Prithvi to upgrade this. Okay, quantity is not updated. Somehow it is not saved. 60, let's say 70 quantity, 130 quantity become total. Save it. What happened to this? Strange. Again, something is wrong. No, it's fine. So let's say this quantity. Second line item is 70 quantity. So I don't want to update the price. I already entered the price. That's why I said no. Fine. So I'm going to calculate the multi-line discount. See, now 5% is calculated for all the items, all three of items. Okay. So in case if it is crossed more than 500, it will fall under next range. Let's say this is 300. This is 200, which is total become 550. Okay, even if I say 150, my god, what happened to this today? Let me close everything. So let's say this is 60. Oh my goodness, what's wrong with this system today? It's becoming grayed out at the top. I'm just clearing the cache, guys, user cache data. Again, what's wrong with the system today? Okay, so I've entered the quantity, guys. Let's say 300 in the first line, 150 in the second line, 16 third line. So total become 510, correct? So when I run the multi-line discount calculation, okay, the multi-line discount column has actually gone. We can add it, that's fine. So basically the discount column you can actually see here as well. Under the line details, we have a line details, price and discount. You can see multi-line discount percentage. Okay, we'll add that column here. Adding a column is very simple in Dynamics, guys. Just right click, add columns. It is showing as add columns in the old version, but in the new versions it shows insert columns. Okay, both are same. So here there are so many fields we can add fields, multi-line discount. So basically that is added at the last. We can even drag it. Okay, so this is the discount amount and this is the percentage, same like how we have in a line discount amount and then line discount percentage. Fine. So now I added the quantity. I'm going to calculate the multi-line discount. Okay, see, discount has calculated to 10%, correct? So this is how the discount will work, guys. Multi-line discount works. But whereas in the line discount, it will apply only for the specific line only. In case if that specific line has to reach, if in case if the specific line reached 500 quantity, then only it will apply 10%. It will not total all of the items together, all the lines together. Okay. So got the clarity, guys, on the multi-line discount?
Yes, Vignesh. That's true.
Okay. So now we'll
Yes,
see the total discount. So total discount also, it's a similar concept, guys, but it will calculate on top of the PO. It's not line specific, it is a total on top of a PO. So procurement and sourcing, trade agreement journals, I can directly create the discount journal. No prerequisite setup is required. So here I can change it to total discount, and here I can change the vendor, select the vendor. Let's say if I purchase from let's say, okay, let me add Apple. What I'll do is I'll add Acme Office Supplies, for example. Okay, so by default, product code type will come all. You cannot even make it table, or you can't even make it group also. So total means it will be applied for all the items. Okay, it's fine. And then you have to specify the discount. Let's say 8% on top of the invoice. Sorry, on top of the purchase order. Okay, save it. It's error. Then post it. Okay, so total discount is posted. Now let's go and create a purchase order and then test that. So vendor 2, it's purchase order. If I select the warehouse, automatically my site also will be selected, guys. Okay. Let's say I'm purchasing a JBL speaker. It's coming in the dollars, guys. I'm purchasing, let's say, Apple iPods, AirPods. Okay, it is saying that vendor is not authorized to purchase this item. Okay, let me add this vendor also in my item master. Okay. Right. So added. So this I'll just remove this. I'll close this error. I'll remove the line and add again. Down arrow. Select the item. Let's say 10 quantity. Above is 5 quantity, for example. So let's say it is $300. Yeah, the JBL speaker, why is it coming $9,000? It will be hardly like $300, not even 300, $30. Make it 30. Okay, fine. Now if you see in the purchase order header, there is something called total discount. Okay, it is not calculated by. Let me calculate total discount. Okay, so it's got calculated 8% automatically. So basically this is at the purchase order level, not at the item level, overall order level. And now I can see the total also. Go to purchase order and see the total value of the purchase order. So this is the subtotal amount, which is before discount. Then we have total discount. Then this is the total net amount of the purchase order. Okay, so basically this is how it works, guys. So this total discount will go on post in the GL codes, and the line discount and multi-line discount will not be posted in the GL. But if required, if you still want to post that line discount and multi-line discount also in the GL postings as a discount income, received income, you can still post it, but that's an optional. But normally most of the companies will not do that, will not post it in the GLs. Okay, only total discount they will post it. Okay, so clear, guys, about the discounts part, prices and discounts part.
Yes, Vignesh.
Okay, okay, so that's it about the discounts, guys. So we have another topic, which is charges. Okay, so in the accounts payable module, it's a new topic. We have something called charges setup. Okay, we have something called charge codes. So what is this charges basically? What is the charge code setup basically? Where we'll use this? So for example, I'm creating a purchase order for my Apple vendor. The vendor is in US. I'm creating an order, so vendor has to deliver the stock to my warehouse, which is in India. Correct. So it's a very far, basically from India to US. It's very far and takes a lot of time as well to transport. So basically, what vendor says that I will charge you some additional charges in case if you want me to deliver to your country. Okay, such as transportation charges, also insurance charges. I'm paying for insurance as well for transportation. If any damage happens during the transportation, we can claim the insurance also, right? So the insurance charges also, I'm taking insurance also for the inventory, and I will charge the same insurance charges for you only. Okay, or maybe vendor also will bear that. That depends on the agreement that we make with the vendors. So we can add the charges in the purchase order. So before, if you want to add the charges in the purchase order, you need to create something called charge codes here. Okay, and creation of the charge code is fine. That will be very easy. Then what about the posting part? So when you say charge code, my vendor is saying that transportation charges I will charge you. Okay, in that case, where the transportation charges should go on hit, it should go on hit in a some GL codes called transportation charges. Insurance charges will go on hit in insurance charges account. Okay, so we'll have to maintain multiple GL codes for these charges also. Okay, so how to set up and which side will be credited and which side will be debited, all these things we'll discuss now. So click new to create a new charge code. Let's say transportation. Okay, transportation, it's paid by vendor on behalf of us. So we'll say transportation hyphen V. So it basically it's paid by vendor. We have another scenario also where vendor will not pay, we have to pay. Okay, that is also, I'll tell you an example. So transportation charges paid by vendor and he is charging to us. Okay, that is the scenario that we are talking about now, right? When transportation charges are paid by vendor, okay, we have not completed the setup yet, that's why it is saying error. So which side should be debited on the charges account when charges are getting posted in the GL or finance? Which side should be debited? What should be debited and what should be credited? So vendor is actually charging us, right? So which one we have to? Can you guys just guess it?
You have to credit the charges.
Sorry.
You have to credit the charges. It's an
You have to.
expense for it, right?
Yeah, expenses will be debit, right?
Yeah, or expenses and losses are to be debited.
Yeah. So you need to debit the charges basically. So debit side, I need to select the ledger account. Okay, I have something called item, ledger, customer. Okay, either I will select the ledger account or I will add these charges also to an item. So it will be part of item cost, purchase cost, right? Yes. Administrator. Who is administrator? Is it Karthik? Charges account debited and vendor is credited. Exactly. That's right. Is administrator is a Karthik or who is that? Okay. Okay. I think his mic is not working. Maybe he's just messaging. Fine. So debit will be charges normally. Credit will be vendor. Okay. So instead of some companies, instead of booking it to the charges, they will add it to the item cost. So I can say in that case, either item or debit to ledger account. If I say debit to ledger account, I have to specify a GL code here, a specific GL code. If I say debit to item, okay, I don't have to specify anything here. Item means whatever the items in my purchase orders are already there, it will go and hit in my inventory account, and it will be added as
I
part
have
of
a
item cost.
question here.
Yeah,
I have a question
Udaya.
here. Like if you're going to directly add it to the item, right? If you have some discounting thing happening there, you have some 5% or 6% discount. Is it going to show it as a different line item, or that is going to add it to
No,
the?
it will be a same line. It will be same under the same line. It will just calculate into a different place. Basically, it's a different form. Actually, it is not even a line item. It's a different
Okay,
form. Charges different form. I'll show you in the purchase order. Okay.
okay, fine, yeah.
Yeah. So this is just a setup part that we are talking about right now. After this configuration of the setup, then we'll go to the purchase order and test this how it works. So item will be debited and vendor will be credited. So here credit side is either customer or vendor. Basically this charges form will use it for sales charges and purchase charges both. That's why they put as customer or vendor. So normally in our case it will be vendor. So debit item, credit vendor. Save it. That is a scenario where if company want to add the charges to an item. Okay. In case if companies doesn't want to add this cost item, in case if they want to book it as a separate GL account, then you have to specify ledger. And when I say ledger and save it, it asks me to select the account number also, which is GL code, main account number. So before that, I'll specify the type of the posting just for order freight. For example, I'll say order freight. Then transportation. Do we have an account? No. You don't have any account. So we can create a GL code and assign that. Okay. So otherwise we can leave it and then make it item only. Save it. Then I'll create another charge code. Let's say insurance paid by vendor. This is also I add it to the item. Concept is same, guys. In case if you want to post to ledger, then select the ledger account and then select the GL code here. That's it. Okay, that is in case vendor is paying the charges and charging us. What in case vendor is not charging? We are hiring a third party insurance to insure our items while transporting, or we are assigning a third party vendor, okay, for transporting our items. Vendor says that your items are ready for collection. Okay, you just arrange some freight forwarder or some courier company or some cargo company, and then take the stock to your country. So we'll assign someone in US, we'll assign air cargo, or someone will ask and then go and collect the items and then transport to our country, correct? So in that case, obviously they will charge something. The third party courier company or cargo company, they will charge something to transfer the stock to us. So in such scenarios, also we can use the charge code. So let's say transportation charges, third party vendor, TV, TPV, for example. Okay, so transportation charges, third party vendors. In this case, debit will be again same. Either you want to add it to item, you can add it. If you don't want to add it to item, then you can book it to a ledger account. Okay, so I'll say item only. What will be the credit in this case? So credit can't be a vendor. Vendor, when I say vendor,
Yeah, cash or bank.
no, it is not even a cash or bank. Credit should not be a vendor, because when I say vendor, it will basically add to the purchase order value. Purchase order we are creating for Apple, for example. So it should not include the purchase order value, correct? Because the purchase order we are raising to the Apple vendor. This third party charges should not display in the the purchase order value, right? This is different thing altogether, because it's a third party vendor, correct? So in that case, you will say it as a ledger. You cannot select a third party vendor here. Instead of that, you can say it's a ledger account. So credit to a ledger account, you can say, and ledger code you have to specify something called, let's say, a third party charges control account, or third party insurance transportation charges control account, insurance control account. So this one, order freight. I'll create a GL code. Basically it's a liability account, so I'll create it under 230008. or I'll say instead of transportation and insurance, I'll say charges control account. Okay, I'll say it is liability. So why I'm creating as a control account? Can anyone tell? Any idea? Why I'm not directly selecting the accounts payable or creditors account, control account? Because tomorrow when I receive the invoice from the third party vendor, what happened? Okay, so tomorrow when I receive the invoice from the third party vendor, I have to book that invoice, correct? So that will be a different vendor. So for that purpose, I will pass the invoice journal, not the purchase order, correct? So when I pass the invoice journal, I will credit that vendor and I will debit this control account. So now the control account is crediting at the time of posting the purchase order invoice. But tomorrow when I receive the invoice from the third party vendor, I will debit this. So this will become 0 and I will credit to actual third party vendor. So that is how this will get nullified basically, and then the liability will be moved to actual third party vendor. Got it? Understood?
Yes, Vignesh.
Or any doubt?
So instead of directly crediting to third party vendor, you're posting
Crediting to
one
the
more
ledger
input.
account.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, we don't have a provision to select the third party vendor actually here. That's the problem. That's the reason we are posting it to ledger account. But but in upcoming versions, like currently we are using 10.0.9. I think, yeah, 10.0.9 is version, is actually the version we are using currently. So upcoming version, currently we are using, I mean, its latest version is 10.0.19 online. Okay, I think 10.0.17 onwards, they have added a module called landed cost module. In that, actually, we can use the third party vendors and all this. And we also have another module called transportation module, transportation management module. If you go down, your transportation management module, it's a again, it's a different concept actually. If you are using this module also, then third party vendor charges no need to configure. You can, you can basically cater the third party vendor scenario through the transportation management module itself. But it's not only but you cannot implement this transportation management module only for this specific scenario. It's a huge, actually the concept is different, this transportation management. If you are using for the I mean for your business purpose, you can also use this charges scenario in this module. Okay, so otherwise this is a simple way of calculating the third party charges, right? Now I'll just go and simply create a purchase order. And we'll show you the charges impact. Oh, sorry, I'm creating vendor. My bad. Ultimate solution. Refresh the page. Is one good thing they gave in the browser and the cloud. If you refresh the page, everything, all the errors will be cleared out and then will get refreshed. Right. So I'm going to create a new purchase order. let's say Apple. Let's say 10 quantity, $1,300. 15 quantity, $300. Let me check if any multi-line discounts are there. 2% discounts are there. Total discount, anything is there? Not there's a total discount. Fine. Now we have something called charges at the top, guys. Okay, under the purchase tab, we have something called charges. So maintain charges. Okay, so we have a charges, adding the charges functionality at the top, on top of the purchase order, and also we have a option to add the charges at the line level. This is a basically line. These are all the functionalities. These are all the options will work for the each line wise. Okay, so first line, select the first line, financials, under the charges. It's the same form. So basically you have a provision to add the charges at the line level or header level, or if you add the header level and you can transfer it to line level, that is also is possible. Fine. Maintain charges. So I will select the charge code. Whatever the charge code I have selected here, basically I will be able to select it. So transportation charges vendor, and I can select the category. Fixed means a fixed amount of charges. Let's say a $200 are the transportation charges for entire stock. That is a fixed value. Okay. Piece means per piece quantity. Basically per piece wise, each quantity wise charges. Each quantity, let's say $1 extra, $1 charges, like that, or $2. Percent means percentage. Basically how much percentage on top of the purchase order value. Let's say 2%, or let's say 3%. Okay, in case if I say intercompany percent, that's a different concept for intercompany trade. That's just a part of supply chain. External also is a different. Proportional also, almost percentage and proportional both will work as same. So most used options are fixed and percent, not even pieces, also fixed and percent. So 3% charges value I added, transportation charges, and I have added insurance charges also, which is paid by vendor. I'm considering in this scenario, I'm considering that paid by vendor, which is 1% on top of the purchase order value. Okay, so 3% transportation charges, 1% insurance charges. Close it. Now I'll check the total of the PO. Go to total. See, 17,500 is the total value of the purchase order. Okay, and charges are 700. Okay, 3% and 1%, 4% on top of 17,500. So 17,500 this into 4%. 700 is got calculated, correct, which is right. And your total purchase order value 18,200. 17,500 plus 700 charges become 18,200, correct. That is how charges will be calculated, guys. It's saying that charges are not allocated. Not allocated means I have added the charges at the header, right? I have to allocate those charges into lines. Why do I have to allocate those lines the charges into lines? Because as I said, I have added to the item cost, right? Unless you add to the lines, okay, it will not know that for each line how much charges should be allocated. So basically, you cannot allocate the charges to each line, sorry, all the lines equally, because in that case, since this item cost is 300 only, this will basically end up with the higher cost. Okay, so basically we'll always have to proportionately allocate the charges to each line. See, this line is having 1300 is the unit price. So in case if you say 2%, okay, 700, so 700 basically it has to proportionately divide it. For 13,000 how much will be allocated, 4,500 how much will be allocated. So based on that proportionate amounts it will allocate. So we have something called allocate charges. So currently if you see the financials maintain charges, it will be empty. Now I'm transferring those header charges to lines, then only it will go to the item cost. Allocate charges. So I'm allocating the net charges amount, it's a net amount only, and allocate charges to the lines, all lines. I have something called all lines, positive lines or negative lines. I don't have any negative lines and positive lines concept. It's for all lines. Allocate all the charges. Okay, you can also allocate the received quantity or only stocked quantity, or in case if you want to select the item specifically, you can click on select show selection, and you can, in case if you add multiple items, let's say you have added 10 items in the purchase order, you want to allocate these charges only for, let's say, 7 items, you can mark only those 7 items. Okay, otherwise it will allocate for all the lines. So received means after GRN is received, in case if I want to allocate the charges, I can allocate it for only received quantity. So here in our case, I'm allocating the charges for all the lines. Allocate. Now if you see the header, it will become empty because these charges are transferred from header to lines. Now if you see the lines, financials, maintain charges, see calculated amount 310, 130. So total become 520, correct? 520 for the first line, second line 135 plus 45, which means 180. So there it is a 520, here it is 180. Total becomes 700, which is basically calculated proportionately based on the line amount. Okay, so that is how system calculates the price charges, guys. And then when you post the invoice, the charges will go and hit the item cost and then creditors. That is about the charges paid by vendor, guys. Now I'll quickly show you the third-party vendors, or third-party vendor charges also. What I'll do is I'll just remove this, delete this. Cannot mark multiple. These charges are clear, guys. Third-party charges. Sorry, not third-party, when paid by vendor.
Vignesh. Vignesh, I tried to log in from my PC, but my voice was not working, so I switched back here.
Acha. So now I'm going to add a third-party charges. So transportation charges, third-party vendor. Let's say it is percentage. Let's say 2.5%. Okay, added. Now if you see my purchase order total, it will not display. The charges will not display here because it is not belongs to this purchase order. It is belongs to third party vendor. That's why it is not showing in this purchase order total value, because this purchase order total is belongs to Apple vendor. Okay, so that's why it will not show, but it will, in the back end it will calculate and it will post to a GL code, control account GL code and item cost. So the posting part we will see, guys, when we post the entire purchase order like a GRN invoice, all this, we will see the charges part also that time. But today I just wanted to show you the configuration part. Right. Now I'm going to allocate this, allocate charges, allocate all the lines, allocate. Okay, now you can see the amount 325 for the first item, 112.50 is for the second item. So but a total, as a total, you will not be able to see. Okay, so in the standard system it will not show you the total value because it is paying by the third party. So normally companies, the clients, when you are implementing this charges and all for the clients, they ask to show the charges also here, even though it is for third party vendor. So in that case, either we can customize one more field here, develop one more field here and show the entire total, or we can bring those value under the charges also. So through the customization or development we can do this. Okay, but some companies will ask for it, some companies will not ask for it. It's fine. Okay, so that is how the charges configuration, guys. So this is a manual charges calculation or manual charges, adding the charges manually in the purchase order. We also have something called automatic charges, guys. Okay, so we also have something called automatic charges. We will discuss this tomorrow. Okay. All right, so if you have any doubts until now, just let me know.
No, Vignesh, I don't have. I'll listen to this class again because మధ్యలో కొంచెం ఆడియో చేంజింగ్ కంప్యూటర్ నుంచి దీనికి షిఫ్టింగ్ లో కొంచెం నేను వినలేదు. క్లాస్ ఒకటి ఇంకొకసారి వింటాను.
ఫైన్ నో ప్రాబ్లం, మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి పర్లేదు. క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ పార్ట్ వరకే చూపించాము ఇవాళ, బట్ పోస్టింగ్ పార్ట్ మళ్ళీ మనం ఇన్వాయిస్, మన జిఆర్ఎన్ పోస్టింగ్, ఇన్వాయిస్ పోస్టింగ్ అంతా అయిపోయినప్పుడు మొత్తం పోస్టింగ్ కూడా చూడొచ్చు మనం, ఇంక్లూడింగ్ టోటల్ డిస్కౌంట్ పోస్టింగ్, అది ఎలా పోస్ట్ అవుతుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ యూ గైస్ యాక్చువల్లీ, సిన్స్ యూ గైస్ ఆర్ ఫైనాన్స్. ఫైన్, రైట్ గైస్, సో సీ యూ టుమారో. టేక్ కేర్, bye.
Okay, Vignesh, thank you, bye.
Bye guys.